Chương trình này được bảo trợ bởi
Family Joy, tổ ấm y tế của mọi gia đình, 714 898 0765.
Hi, welcome back to the OC Health and Education Show on Little Saigon TV. I'm your host, Julie Yip. Julie Yip kính chào quý vị khán giả của Little Saigon TV. Cảm ơn quý vị đã tiếp tục theo dõi chương trình Kiến thức, y khoa, gia đình và xã hội. Hôm nay Julie có thời gian nói chuyện với hai người quý khách rất là đặc biệt. Đó là retired police chief, đó là Tim Vu và Dr. Alice MARTANEGARA. I'm trying my best to say your name, and it's so hard to kind of code switch between both languages. But thank you again so much, both of you, for again, reserving your valuable time to come here. Today we have an opportunity before the commercial break to learn about who you are as people. Now in this segment, I definitely want to share about, the college and the difference I know in the Vietnamese community. People have a hard time understanding why going to a community college might be good for some of our students and why going to a four-year university might be better. I will share with you my personal experience. In high school, I was an underachiever. I have autism, I have a learning disability. So a lot of times, we as Asians, we don't get the medical diagnosis nor the treatment we need. So I just struggled in high school. But so I was forced to go to community college because I didn't have the grades to get into a four-year university. So I went to Pasadena City College, and from there, I did so well. I took all the classes I liked, and I was even breaking the curve in some of these classes, especially the anatomy classes. So, I definitely see that the community college track is beneficial to some of our students, and the four-year track are better for others. I needed a little extra time to grow, and I knew that it was better. But somehow, I did get my master's at 23. So I think we did okay. Yep. So can you tell me your experience about, the pros and cons about, community college versus a four-year university?
Sure, I can speak to my experience as, obviously working at Golden West, but also as a parent. I have two young girls. One went to a four-year, one went to a two-year. And I think the advantage of a community college is that it fits for some of our students in that it's the right pace. Yes. The classes are more available for them. And, when you're talking about taking these undergrad class, they all count and they transfer the same to a four-year school. So from a financial standpoint, especially if you're paying for your college tuition for your children, it's a big cost saving because when they do transfer to a four-year school, that degree they're going to get comes from the four-year school, but the benefit is you saved really a lot on the financial side from saving that 2 years. And most of our students can finish on time because they're not struggling to find the class because it's so impacted at a four-year school where there's a great likelihood that they can get their AA degree while under 2-year transfer and then have that time to mature and do well in that four-year environment.
Yes, and that's one thing. I definitely know that it's really about matching the students with the type of college and education after high school.
Yeah, and I would say this about Golden West too, that the faculty there are always willing to work with students. It's really one of those approach where we really want to look out for the student success. So I think that's the unique thing too about going to a community college where you really get that time with your faculty members or your instructors so that you can be successful. You may not have that when you go to a large four-year institution, and so I think that is another advantage of staying locally in your community is that you can get that time to develop that and get those, the study habits where you need them to be, and then you're off to a four-year school.
Yeah. I mean, I work in the disability space, and to me, I see that the community college, it's kind of the disability accommodation for some of our students who are different learners. They learn at different pace, but once they catch up, they excel.
Exactly.
Thưa quý vị khán giả của Little Saigon TV, hôm nay Julie có thời gian nói chuyện với anh Tim Vũ. Anh Tim Vũ là một giáo viên của học Golden West, Đại học Golden West College. Hôm nay Julie có thời gian nói chuyện đó về mình phải nói là cái khác biệt về cái trường community college versus cái trường 4 năm university. Trước nhất là hai cái chương trình đây, hai cái trường đây là cũng giúp cho trẻ em được cái bằng 4 năm. Sau đó mình thấy cũng không có khác gì hết. Chừng nào em học ở 2 năm community college thì chừng nào phụ huynh trả tiền cho đại học hay cái tuition thì rất là mình cái tiết kiệm tiền. Mà chừng nào mình học cái 4 năm thì cái đó là cũng tốt cho em luôn, mà tùy theo đứa. Có đứa còn cái sự giúp đỡ hay cái thời gian như với cái câu hỏi để cho học hành để hiểu được. thì Julie thấy rất là quan trọng. Mình không phải là mình phải chọn một trường community college hay trường 4 năm tùy theo cái học sinh. Giống như Julie chia sẻ đó là hồi nhỏ Julie học đại học high school không có đủ cái điểm để cho vô cái trường 4 năm. Tại Julie có tự kỷ về cũng có nhiều cái khó khăn học hành, thì Julie bắt buộc phải học trường Pasadena City College, mà tới 23 tuổi Julie vẫn cũng có bằng 6 năm là bằng master. Thì thiệt ra nhiều người cũng tới 20 mấy, cũng 30 tuổi còn chưa bằng master. Thì đó không phải là mình học community college nó bị chậm, mà có thể nó có giúp cho trẻ em. Alice, I was just mentioning that, Tim made a really good point that it's really not about where you go for the first 2 years. That just really helps you find about the different ways of learning. But at the end of the day, you both are great examples that you can go beyond a community college degree and become, directors and deans of different programs, or even, police chief, right?
Yes.
So can you tell me about what it is at Golden West College that you see from your experience with your students? How is it that they can do this?
A lot of our students are, you have the younger students that, as you mentioned before, Julie, that had some concerns and may need a little bit more time to grow. And then you have also the mature students. Those are the students who are in the second career. Those students who may have life happen to them and needed to change their career quickly so they can provide for their families and gain some gainful employment. So taking a class at a community college, or coming to a program, a specialized program like nursing in a community college, is a quicker way for them to gain that gainful employment right away after they finish school. Because whether the student comes to community college or they go to a 4-year degree program, they still all have to complete what we call the state licensure exam. And so they're both eligible to sit for this exam upon completion of the program. And they can go to work right away and make a living for their family.
Well, I never see it as that. I didn't see it as a place, for even someone with a second career or having to get the meaningful employment, because oftentimes we see college as something for, kids straight out high school. We get into it. But you brought up such an important point that some of us, and especially even during COVID, some of us, we want to change careers, and it might be a good place to start. I taught at Orange Coast College, the speech assistant program. And when I taught there too, definitely, you can see that not all students were straight out of high school. Maybe half of the students were older students, maybe a second career, or looking for, maybe a shorter track to straight get into the field. So thank you for sharing that insight. I think that's such invaluable information. Thưa quý vị khán giả của Little Saigon TV, hôm nay Julie có thời gian nói chuyện với Dr. Alice MARTANEGARA. Dr. Alice MARTANEGARA là một người y tá mà cũng là Associate Dean của trường Golden West College. Dr. Negara nói là một cái quan trọng là cái chương trình của Golden West College không phải là trẻ em mà từ high school đi học qua đại học, mà cũng có thể là giống như mình có lập gia đình rồi mà mình có muốn tìm cái nghề khác cho mình làm, giống như cái nghề y tá, hay giống anh Tim nói cái nghề đi làm law enforcement hay cảnh sát. Có thể mình đi Golden West College, nó có cái chương trình mà có thể ngắn hơn, mà mình làm việc được, mình học cái trong cái khóa đây, mình ra nghề, mình có làm tiền được. Julie có một cái thời gian dạy ở trường Orange Coast College trong cái chương trình kêu là Speech Language Pathology Assistant. And một nửa trẻ em là từ đại học mới ra, từ high school mới ra, mà phần nửa kia đó là cũng là lớn tuổi rồi. Thì Julie thấy đó là cái chương trình của Community College rất là quan trọng cho mỗi em, với mỗi người lớn, để cho tìm cái nghề để cho làm tiền liền. And I think that's such an important thing. And I think, some of us, we don't have 4 years or 6 years or 8 years to get the skills to work. And I think, community college is a great, avenue to get there essentially faster and be in the workforce.
Yes. And with the pandemic, there's a lot of layoffs and there's a lot of different challenges. So this is just another avenue coming to community college to explore.
Well, thank you, Tim and Alice, for being with us today. We're going to go to a commercial break and definitely have more opportunities to talk. Cảm ơn quý vị khán giả của Little Saigon TV đã tiếp tục theo dõi chương trình Kiến thức, y khoa, gia đình và xã hội. Hôm nay Julie có thời gian nói chuyện với Retired Police Chief Tim Vu and Dr. Alice MARTANEGARA là người y tá của trường Golden West College. Hai người quý khách đây là Associate Dean of cái đại học đây. Julie hy vọng có thời gian tiếp tục nói thêm về Golden West College.